much time on your hand. That's our topic in this video, and let's see what we can get from it. Hi, this is Efren again, and I'm here to share with you how I am coping with this coronavirus 19 quarantine. And I hope that after this video, you will pick up some ideas on how you will spend your time. This coronavirus 19 quarantine is just an ordinary thing, in a sense that when I was sidelined by stroke in April 2013, my doctor told me that I will be able to move about in about 6 months, and I thought it will go that way, but then it went to 3-4 more years before I was able to really be on my feet and go walking about. So I have much time on my hand, and how could I use them so that I won't be depressed, I won't be sorry with how I live. So I have an example here that I will show you, and you can find parallel activities to this one, because this is quite specialized, especially that we are going to use the laptop. Now, just to give you a background of how this thing came about. So 2012, I contracted a section of my class that I will make their mini yearbook. So I agree that when we see each other in June, they will have the finished copy. But one little problem I had was, what artwork shall I place at the front, the very front itself? The first thing we see when we see a book, that's the one. So I don't have any idea yet. And so I called one of the students there who has a good artistic mind, and I told her to produce one artwork that will suit their yearbook. And so she gave me this one, and this is in pencil form, or she sketched it in pencil. So what I'm going to do now is I will show you a brief rundown on how I turned it into a book cover to the final look, how it looks. Then after that, I will show you how to do photo paint on a laptop or on a desktop. Here is a brief summary of what I did to turn this raw copy image into the page of the yearbook. And since I knew a little bit about Photoshop, I brought this image to the Photoshop and played with its brightness and contrast, and then I tried to darken it and do some erasing in between the letters so that they will pop out. And then after saving it as a JPEG picture, I brought it back to Photo Paint. Then I put more white in between the spaces between the letters so that they can, or the black and white, the difference will be noticeable. And then I visualize how it will look. Now there is no direct solution or rule on how I will do this, so I just followed my gut instinct, and I just used color contrast so that all of them will come out when it is looked at the glance. So this was just what I did, and this is the finished product. These are the booklets that I finished and distributed when I went back to school. Now let's learn how photo paint is done. So to open it, we have to click the Microsoft icon on the lower left portion of the monitor, or when we click that, we will come to paint. We will be brought to the white canvas where we will do our painting. On the upper left corner is a small arrow. When you click that small arrow, you click open, and that will bring you to your files. And from your files, you choose the picture you like. So for example, this one here, we will have the airplane. So we click that to highlight it, and then we click open. It appears so big on the screen because the resolution is at 100%. But if we reduce that by clicking the negative sign on the lower right portion of the screen, that will turn to 50 or even 25. It depends on the size you want to see or to check. I would like to orient you on the tools that are used to put color on this picture here. So right there on the top part of the screen, you have brush, and you also have color, and in between them is size. Those are the three tools we will be using most of the time. So let's have a brief review. No need to memorize them because they're all there. All you have to do is click on one tool and the materials will come out, and then you choose. This is in a way a try and try thing where nothing is established. All you have to do is try them, and what suits you, use them. So here we go. Put your cursor on that small arrow below brush, and those 9 brushes, different kinds of brushes you will use, will appear. So the first one is just the brush. The second one, and then the next one is an airbrush, and it is followed by an oil brush. Next is crayon, then marker, pencil, and then watercolor. So you can choose any of those points that you wish to use. Next is size of the point of the brush that you will use. Again, put your cursor on top of that little arrow there, and then click that, and you are given 4 point choices to use. So the topmost is the thinnest, and the lowermost is at 8 pixels, and that is the thickest. So you choose that. And then let's go to the next one, which is on color, which is this color one here is used for foreground. So this is what we will be using most of the time. The second one, their color is more for background. Now on these small, there are square spaces there where there are different colors. Or those are where your colors will come from, and if you click any of them, they will appear right there on color one. So for example, you chose red will appear, or if it's yellow will appear. Let's see there. So from black, we chose red, then red came out. Or what if we chose green, or we chose yellow? So that is what will come out as our color for the picture. But what about if you cannot find the exact color that you like? you can go to that small square space there at the far right, where it says edit color. You just click that, and the color palette will appear. That is the space where you can get your color. So for example, let's choose pink, a little bit pink. So when you place your cursor there, it is just an arrow, but when you click it, there will be a plus sign kind of symbol that appears, which means that what you have chosen is now on this a small rectangle space below this square one where the colors are taken. And if that is the color that you like, then you press OK. Okay, so let's try to apply these tools here. So for example, or before we go into that, you can directly paint this picture now, but the problem is when you are placing the picture on the lines, along the black lines there, the problem is you might overlap them and cover them, and there might be no boundaries between the whites and the outside whites, I mean to say, and the inside space. We have to be quite exact on that one, and to solve that matter, we have to zoom in the picture about 3 times. So for example, this one is at 50. I will let it appear at 300. So this is how it appears at 300%. The lines are enlarged and quite manageable when we place our colors. So for example, okay, let me try now. I will now go to brushes. I will choose the first one, just brush. I will go to size. I would like to choose the thickest. Then I will go to color. I will click color first, and I will choose red. So you see, if I will rub this one here or brush it here, that is the red one. Alright, now you choose use this slider, the vertical and horizontal slider, to bring up or bring down the picture at a level you like, and that's where you will start now painting. So here is how the advantage of enlarging this picture to its largest size. So the reason why I want to do the edges first before I go to the center is that it is easier when this specific aging of the problems or the specific placement of the color is done before I just brush the white spaces without any much concern of going over or overlapping the given boundary lines. So it's just like that. For example, I will rub this one is like this, and then no problem. I will not have any worry of redoing something. So what about if I, instead of red, I chose green? So I will click green, and it will come out like that, and then I will start rubbing this one here or brushing it here, and I don't have to remove the previous color. We can put another color on top of the given one, and it will be erased. So there is no problem with thinking that it might not be good. It's just okay. So that basically is how this thing is done. This is a trial and try method, experiment. There are no strict rules on how this will be done. I will give I will paint this all over but I will not be narrating. I will even speed it up just to show you how it was done. And what I want you to observe perhaps is how I did it, or how the cursor went from the color to size to brushes and back, and until this one is done. Then I hope that you will be able to pick it up or pick things there. Now, this, I wouldn't really want you to do this thing literally, because this is quite specialized. You also have to learn it, but if you wish to learn it, I'll be happy. This is like that. Now, you can find other parallel activities that are more or less the same as this thing here. I would rather say, if you have a previous hobby that you have not been doing before, go for that. And the reason is, by doing this, we will be practicing our brain cells that were disarranged, discarded, and disconnected. And this is one way of improving our mind to be alert, to be active, and to be vibrant. I never knew this thing here before. When I was doing this, I never thought of neuroplasticity. It was only when I became curious and started reading on the internet, and it's there where I learned what I was sick about. And I'm just happy that even though I was not taught anything about brain recovery or whatever, I started it by doing this one. For one thing, it was because I was obliged to do this, because I agreed to produce the project I promised my students before. So go for your hobby that you have and enjoy doing it, because by doing so, we are making our brains more alive and more active. Thank you for watching, and share this video to anyone who needs it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will be seeing you in the next video.